Hey guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar, and one of the coolest projects that you can do using our peelable aerosols is to change the color of your emblems and badges on your car. This is the fastest, the easiest, and the most affordable way to change the color of your emblems and badges by yourself. It's not even close. Now today, I'm going to show you how to do this project using the new HyperDip Shadow Black. Enjoy the video. Now, if you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you're already probably asking yourself, what are going to be the differences that you notice in spraying emblems with HyperDip versus standard Plasti Dip? Well, first things first is the appearance. HyperDip is going to dry into a much richer, darker black. It's going to have a higher satin sheen, and it's going to have a smoother, slicker finish. And with that smoother, slicker finish, it's also going to be easy to clean and maintain. And HyperDip is a stronger, thinner film, and that really comes into play when we're working on things like trim and emblems. What it's going to do is dry tighter and crisper around each one of the intricate letters that are in emblems, and it's actually going to give you more detail and more definition. I'll give you a perfect example right here. This Sky Active logo right here actually has all of these letters sunken into the plastic. And what we're asking the film to do is not only coat on top of this with 6-7 coats, but maintain the definition of the letters. And with HyperDip being a stronger and more importantly thinner film, it's going to sink into these letters and dry, again, giving us more detail and more definition. It does a really, really good job. So you might be asking yourself, which vehicle are we working on today? Well, Christina, one of our long-term customer service reps, got a new vehicle, and I promised her we would black out the badges, so this is a perfect time. So the emblems that we're working on are going to be the CX-5 right here, the Mazda logo, and of course, the Sky Active emblem itself. We're actually going to black this whole thing out. Now, the application process for HyperDip is very similar. I'm going to walk you through the kit and the step-by-step tutorial right now. So what we're using today is the HyperDip Emblem and Badges kit, and here's everything that comes in the kit. You get 2 cans of HyperDip Shadow Black. You get 1 can of foaming pre-dip aerosol. This is what we're going to use to actually clean the surfaces before we spray them. You get 1 spudger tool, and I'll show you how this little guy comes in handy a little bit later. You get a roll of blue painter's tape and a microfiber towel. So let's get started on the car. So we're going to start here on the CX-5, and the first thing you want to do is take your blue painter's tape and start to frame out the emblem that you're working on. So what I mean by that is you're going to take your tape and you're going to create a box around the emblem and give yourself about 1 inch of space between the tape and the emblem. You want to create a seal all the way around. And once you create that box, what you're going to do is take the tape and give yourself a 3 or 4 layer border. All right, we've got our framework around the emblem. Now we're going to move on to cleaning it. It's very important to thoroughly clean all of the surfaces around the emblem, on the emblem, the edges. We really want to do a good job here. So there's 3 things that we're going to use: the pre-dip spray, the spudger tool, and the microfiber towel. So I'll show you how I like to do it. I'll take my microfiber towel, I'll spray some foaming pre-dip spray onto it, fold it up. You don't want it to be soaking wet, but you want it to be nice and moist. We're going to take the flat edge of the spudger tool and put it underneath the microfiber towel. Then what I'm going to do is work this around all the edges of the emblem. It's really easy for dirt and debris and wax and all sorts of stuff to get stuck on the edges of the emblem. Once in a while, just reapply to make sure that you've got it saturated with product, and just keep working around all the edges. It may take a little bit of extra time, but trust me, it's worth doing this right. Now, once you're done focusing on all the edges, you're just going to re-wet your microfiber with a little bit more pre-dip and get the rest of the surface area. Get the top, the sides of each emblem, get the OEM paint around the emblem. Again, it's worth putting some extra effort into the cleaning and prep, because what's the point of buying the product, spending the time on the entire project if you're not going to get the end result that you're looking for. So prep really plays a role. Also, we don't recommend washing your car or washing the emblems before you actually spray them. It's really easy for moisture to get trapped behind the emblems here. So if you're gonna wash it, or if you just previously washed your car, wait 24 hours before you start to spray. So we've got these really, really clean. I'm gonna repeat the same process on the other two sets of emblems. So the masking and prepping are very straightforward. A lot of you guys have seen this before, but when it comes down to spraying HyperDip, that's where you're gonna change your technique a little bit. Just like we said in the wheel video, you have to keep in mind that it's a thinner film than standard Plasti Dip. So if you spray it the way you spray Plasti Dip, you could run into some application issues. However, if you know how to do it, it's very easy. What we're gonna do is start with 2 light coats. And when I do these light coats, I'm going for about 50% coverage. That's about it. You don't have to overdo it. Now we're gonna give this about 5 minutes to dry. It's gonna flash off real quick because it's a light coat, and we're gonna repeat the same exact thing. Now here's our second light coat. Again, don't overdo it on the first 2. After your first 2 light coats have dried, we're gonna start moving into the wet coats. Now the wet coats are what really come into play when you're looking for that smooth finish. You want the entire surface of the emblem to dry as one film. So what I'm gonna do is just use nice, quick passes to go back and forth and let the product wet itself out. I'm not gonna go slow and pool up really heavy. You don't have to do that. HyperDip wets out really easy on its own. So I'm gonna go nice, quick passes and let the surface wet out. And you can see how effortless it is to get the HyperDip to wet out. Now that pass was pretty straightforward. I'm gonna do this again 5 times, coming in from a little bit of a different angle each time. I'm also gonna start working on the other emblems as well. So we got our 2 light coats and 6 wet coats on there. We always recommend 6 to 7 wet coats after your 2 light ones are done. We've given it a full hour to dry, and we're gonna start breaking down the masking here. All right, now we're on the last 4 pieces. And what I like to do is just slowly start to take the tape. I want to keep the extra product on the car if I can. Just 1 piece at a time. I'm pinning down the product with my thumb and then taking the tape off. I just found it easier to do it this way over time. All right, now I've got that extra framework here. I'm going to pick one side and I'm going to slowly start bringing the product up to the edge of the emblem. And what you're going to notice is it's going to cut perfectly. Now here's one more huge benefit of HyperDip being that thinner, stronger formula. Because it's thinner, it cuts so much cleaner and so much easier, especially in those tight areas. Now when we get to a tighter spot like inside this 5, this is where you're going to grab your spudger tool and you're going to use the spudger tool to just lift the product out of that area, nice and easy. Breaking HyperDip down around emblems is one of my favorite things to do. It's just so calming and satisfying. I'm going to take this tool, slowly bring it up. Again, spudger tool just to get me started here. Here's some DYC trivia for you guys. If you've been following this channel for a long time, there's 2 other utensils, if you want to call them that I've used to break down emblems in the past. If you know what those 2 things are, write a comment below and tell me what they were. All right, CX5 done. Let's move on. Now I'm going to use the spudger to get myself started in this corner. Just gently pull it away. And again. Now, obviously, my whole 4 strips of tape routine did not contain all of the overspray. There were some weak spots here. Now, you can go even crazier with the tape. You can even spring for the tape and drape, which will cover all of the surfaces that you're not working on around your workspace with plastic. But because it buffs off so easy, I'm not sure if it's worth spending the extra money on the tape and drape. All right, guys, and we're done. This is a very fast, very easy project that almost anybody can do to their own vehicle. And it's amazing how just changing the color of your emblems can change the entire look of your car. And with the HyperDip having that extra smooth, higher sheen finish, these emblems look like they came just like that from the factory. It looks awesome. Now, if you want to do this to your own car, super simple, click right up here. It'll bring you to the exact same kit that we used in today's video. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate. Call us during business hours or chat with us directly on the website. We love talking to you guys about all the different projects that you're working on. It's Fonzie. Thank you for watching. And thank you so much for subscribing too. It really means a lot to us. Let's check out the end result. I will see you guys on the next video.